Hi, this is RGK and today I'll show you two first-person shooters that have a few things in common but are vastly different. So what they have in common is that both of them are developed by one guy and they are kind of retro shooters or 2.5D, or if you will, they have 3D environments but sprites for the enemies. Usually this sort of in-game being released on Steam, I try to avoid them. I like pixels, I like sprites, I like Doom-likes, but what they tend to be most of the time are Wolfenstein-likes, which means that they have lots of corridors, boring to navigate, like very basic combat, and usually it's a tedious chore, except for Gun Gods. Gun Gods is really good. So I'll start with Still Not Dead. This one is in early access, so it's clearly not finished and it shows. And yet, the foundation is quite solid. The shooting feels good. You have nice feedback for the weapons, with good recoil, you can see the ballistics, the bullets flying off the enemies and dealing quite a lot of damage. You even get used to the fact that there is no vertical aim, only horizontal aim. It's good, there are lots of weapons. You can go from barbed wire to crosses to shotguns and AK-47. You have some melee weapons. The melee is actually quite good. You can kill a zombie in one shot if you have like an axe or something. You can find a chainsaw. And thankfully it does not take place in corridors like the Wolfenstein 3D-like games that I do not like. Instead, it's an open area for each level and you have many ruins that you can explore, but it's dangerous if you get cornered. You have hedge mazes and so on. What I particularly enjoy is the atmosphere. It really feels apocalyptic, and despite the retro and cheap look of the graphics, there are lots of fancy effects like the weather changing, suddenly it starts to rain, or suddenly it's nighttime, everything becomes black and red and something is chasing you, it's death. Just like in Spelunky, you cannot kill it. The only way to escape is to find a portal to the next level. I find that with the red and black colors, the music and the first person, it's much more oppressive than in other games, and it really felt scary the first time it happened. And with the very cool gunfights, I would say that the first impressions of this game are very good. Worth the price, which is quite cheap if you want to have fun for a few minutes. But more than that, and the game starts to show its limitations. The main problem are the different systems on which the game is built on, such as health. You don't regen health. You can only find a few various items on the map, which give you back like 10 to 15 health points. But the problem is that if you want to fight your way to these health points, you might lose 30 health points. So in the end, it's not really worth fighting to get health. Same for the weapons, you have to go to some locations to buy ammo, or you find a weapon on the map, but you cannot just pick it up, you have to buy it. Oh yeah, and a good thing is there is a crystal which is like the D20 in The Binding of Isaac. You can re-roll the item until you find something that you like. So you have to buy stuff on specific locations. So there is no incentive to actually partake in the fight, because you're gonna lose more ammo and health than if you were not fighting. And that's a problem of the way the systems are designed, such in the new Doom of 2016, you have to fight to get back health, and you can even use a chainsaw to get back ammo. So in a sense, the game makes you want to fight and fight well, go forward, keep your momentum, so you get more rewards for the way you're fighting. While in this game here, in the end, what I did was just pick up an axe, use the dash of the axe to go through the levels, because there was no benefit to actually engaging in the gunfights, and that's bad. It would be better if you would need to kill at least a certain number of enemies to go to the next level, or if enemies were dropping more money for your weapons or more health or anything. Also, after a few levels there are no new enemies and there are no new environments. It ends up becoming quite boring, like just always the same over and over and over. There is a solid foundation for this game, but it's clearly not finished yet. So if you want for a few minutes of fun, yeah, just go for it. I mean, it's early access, so you should judge a game on how it is at that moment when you buy it. But if you want more, you should wait and see how this game evolves. The second game we're seeing is this Strange Realm of Mine. and this one is completely opposite the other because the gunfights are actually not good at all, especially at the beginning of the game. It gets better when you have a shotgun, but on many levels when you start you only have a melee weapon, and while the melee was okay in Still Not Dead, here it's bad. You barely do any damage to your opponents, and worse than that, they always get a hit on you. So it's very hard to avoid taking damage, and in the end you have to replay the sections over and over again until you can go forward. Unlike the previous one, this is no procedural generation, these are pre-made levels. Since it's not very fun to have to redo a sequence again because you cannot avoid the enemy's hits, you might want to start the game on easy mode if you just want to go through the story and you don't particularly enjoy the gunfights, because they're not very good. Something really awful is that the more health points you lose, the more your vision turns to grey, and you can barely see anything anymore. That's really badly done. However, the rendering of the lights is actually on point, and you have some horror sections where you can get surprised by an enemy coming out of a dark corner, and it's not a cheap jump scare, it's not a scripted event, it's more like you could have avoided it if you were looking in every corner, if you were being careful, but sometimes the level design is made so that you don't exactly see that there is going to be a cavity in a wall on the right and the monster will be there. So it's quite well done. Apart from the gunfights that are not very good, what you have in this game is lots of dialogues and poetry. Every time you load a level, there is a new poem, or you can rescue some characters and one of them keeps trying to show you their poems. Suspiciously the very same font as all the other poems on the loading screens or on the walls. It can be a bit weird because you feel like, what, is this like a pretentious game trying to show off with poetry, trying to seem intellectual while it's not? Especially considering that there are lots of metaphysical dialogues talking about the sense of life, the purpose of gods and all these sort of things. It seems a bit heavy-handed at first. And it seems completely at odds with the levels. The levels have no sense, nothing connecting them together really well. Like sometimes you fighting rats that are drug dealers in the streets, in the slums. Then you're on a space station fighting some facehuggers. Then you're on an airship fighting cultists. It just makes no sense, it doesn't connect well together. But then actually I noticed something else, is that there are some paintings on the walls, and just like the poems, it actually feels like the author was creating a collection of his own stuff to display in a game, but not necessarily to talk to the player, but more a discussion with himself, his own stuff he likes, like bits of games he enjoys or little bit of platformers that he wanted to put in the game for no particular reason, just wanted to do that. So in the end it doesn't feel like the developer was trying to force their mind on the player, like trying to, oh, this is cool, you will like that, oh, this totally makes sense, you will connect with this, that. No, it's different. It's more like finding the personal diary of the developer with his own thoughts and reflections and his doodles and all. An aggregation of things he likes, things he thinks. It's his inner dialogue, and in the end it goes well with the title of the game, This Strange Realm of Mine, because it's his world, it's not meant to be our world. There are lots of reflections on social anxiety and depression, so I suspect that a lot of teenagers going through that phase of their life, a bit like the emo phase, will actually connect to the game, and for them there will be lots of interesting things to read about in this game. But for me personally, it just completely flew over my head. I didn't care about most of what I was reading, and I just went past the dialogues without reading them. It's also very strange that the dialogues are served by anime-looking characters. It doesn't really fit well with the rest of the mood of the game. So it's not a very fun experience, but some people might find something to connect. And most of all, there are still a few brilliant ideas that make the whole game worth playing, if that's what you're looking for. And one of such things is the level focused on social anxiety. First, this level takes place in a normal building, so you can relate to it. Every character is not attacking you, they are just standing by or looking at you or going out of your way, but just them looking at you actually hurts you, it decreases your health points, and that was a brilliant mechanism. You have to navigate through a level with these people that are not attacking you, but they hurt you just by looking at you. This level was brilliant. And another one that I liked was about kind of having to feed a monster by exterminating other monsters. And even though I don't know if they're innocent, but they are fighting back, so they're not harmless. But still, it felt very wrong to do this. So there are still things to find in this game that are very good, but overall the package is not very fun to play. It's kind of a weird experience that some people will enjoy a lot and they will relate to it, and for others it's gonna be a complete waste of time. So it's up to you to think about what you want, what you need from a game, and decide if this was for you or not. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye bye.